So in the last episode, I introduced you guys to the new Nomadic Trike by Limitless. Over the next 3 weeks, I'm going to be putting this trike through the test, and then after that, I'm going to be giving it away to one lucky viewer. In the last episode, we did the unboxing, assembly, and specs, and in this episode, I'm going to be doing the first solo test flight and some off-field bush flying. But before we get into it, you might be wondering, how do I win this sweet trike? Simply visit the first link in the description, check out our new designs. We have 3 of them up on the web store, available in t-shirts, hoodies, and sticker decals. Every $5 spent on the web store gets you 1 entry to win the trike, and if you hate sweet merch, you can buy direct entries as well. Also, if you want to attend my very first YouTube meetup, be sure to RSVP. It's going to be on May 17th, 3 to 5 p.m., out at the Bad Apples Fly-In. Now, let's jump right into my first solo test flight on the Nomadic Trike. All right, my friends, here we go. First flight on the Nomadic Trike. Laid out right here, we have a brand new Ozone Road Max 32 meter, based off the Roadster, but it's a Trike specific glider. We got winglets. I literally just pulled it out of the bag for the very first time. It's crisp, and now it's gonna get covered in desert dust. Got the trike set up perfectly into the wind. Everything's looking a-okay, so let's climb aboard. I got our hang point set up to the solo setting. I'm just gonna climb in underneath, like so. First, master switch on. Our digital display comes alive. Clear prop. Motor is so dialed. So this will be my first time flying this glider as well, the Road Max 32. It's got the trike specific toggles and risers. Alrighty. One thing left to do. 3, 2, 1. Get her above. We'll taxi a little bit. And roll on smooth power. Beautiful. This engine is so linear and smooth. Oh yeah. This thing is dialed. You guys know most of my trike flying has been on the Flash Cruiser, which is like an extremely lightweight, foldable. It's like the bare minimum of trike. This thing feels so robust and sturdy, especially paired with this Road Max. I want to just shoot as many trike landings as we can, so let's line one up on this canal path. I think we can land on either side. Let's go for the right side of the canal. No obstructions. We will set her down. Grease into the flare. That's a trike landing that would make James Sutherland proud. And you have to be a paramotor pilot to know James, but he's the trike guy. We're taking these bumps nice and smooth, just taxiing. This Road Max is so stable with the winglets, I barely have to think about keeping it over my head. So let's get off the ground, roll on power. Yes, sir. Dialed, baby. Let's go do some bush flying. So what I want to eventually do with this setup in the next few weeks, when I have it, before I give it away, is obviously some tandems with friends, and then some bush flying, and like actually taking it out into some mountainous terrain and trying to pull off some interesting landings. So for this flight, being my first flight on this setup solo, I just want to feel it out and practice some touch and goes. Let's see if we can pull off a little touch and go amongst these trees that are glowing in the setting sun. Kind of challenge ourselves, get a little bit tighter, get over this scrub. We can put it down right here. Little taxi, and we got a tree right up in front of us, so we want to get off the ground.
yeah, I feel like Trent Palmer out here. All right, I'm scoping out our next spot, and the winds right now are coming left to right, so I'm thinking we turn this into a downwind base final onto that little strip between the grass here. I want to touch down somewhere about midfield. We obviously have plenty of room to work with, but this is my downwind. I'm going to swing it around town on a slight descent. Base leg here, and that grass is just glowing in the sun. And this is our final. Feel the cool air from the grass, a little humidity, that's nice. Heck yeah. Little taxi. Keeper lined up, nice and center, and let's get off the ground. Woo! On my Trike launches, I like to, you're in that taxi phase, low on power. I like to roll on power, accelerate, and kind of let your hands up a little bit. Let the glider accelerate, and then ease into the brake pressure and give yourself lift to get off the ground super smooth. It just demonstrates more finesse when you lift off the Trike intentionally, rather than a lot of people just hammer the power and rip off the ground. Looks like we got a fellow Trike pilot up ahead. He's operating out of a super secret spot in the desert. So I'm gonna go say hi to him and we'll do a touch and go in his LZ. All right, this is gonna be a super easy one. I see his truck parked out here. He's got a windsock set up. I'm just gonna make this my base and then I'll turn final right past his truck. And then I wanna challenge myself a little bit more after this. Swing her around this taller bush. This ground is super uneven, so we don't want to touch down just yet. Right about here is good. Flare into that landing. Little power to taxi. And we got an obstruction, so we want to get off the ground. Heck yeah. I think, to be honest, I want to let some air out of these tires. I never checked the tire pressure, but for how big these tires are, I'm pretty sure I can let some air out and it'll be a smoother ride on this rough terrain. Over these bushes. This is going to be a really quick touchdown and take off. Don't get wrapped up in that tree. Touchdown. This is super rocky. And in the power and off the ground. I barely let the full weight of the Trike go on that one. And this is such a pleasure. It's just so chill. The air tonight is absolutely perfect. It's so stable. This whole setup is so stable. I just feel like I'm sitting in, like, I don't know, my office chair, but I'm flying up above the earth. It's pretty cool. All right, here's our final spot. This little straight run of asphalt directly below me. This guy in this Challenger, whatever it is going to be very much confused as to what's going on. Just overflying the landing area, making sure there's no obstructions, there's no street signs. You know what? Let's actually do it behind him. We're going to do it on this street. We'll just make a little teardrop entry to our base to final. Descending over the wall, avoiding King Street sign right here. Once we pass that, we can set her down. Little flare, and absolutely greased it. Get a nice slow roll. Taxi. And power. Little lift off. Heck yeah, that was Rosiana Del Road. Operating a full traffic pattern airport out of a under construction subdivision. Please don't call the FAA on me. This is not illegal, believe it or not. So we gotta avoid a different street sign this time and a light pole out here. So this is base, descending onto final. I overshot center line a little bit, so I got to bring her back on the center line before we touch down. Flare into a nice touchdown. Beautiful. Quarter power, just a taxi. Look at that here. Woo-hoo-hoo! Yeah, buddy! Local neighbors are hyped. I feel like I haven't even hit full power on this thing. That's like half. There's full. She sings. Super smooth motor. I'm gonna get us turned around, pointed towards home, and I think we're just gonna beeline it back at this point.
All right, first initial impressions on this thing. I freaking love it. To summarize it, I personally have been looking to upgrade my trike, and this trike is obviously just a giveaway trike. I don't get to keep it, but after that flight, I'm convinced this is the route I want to go for my next trike. So probably after this, you'll see my personal trike, which is at home, up for sale, and I'll be getting one of these. I think the dual spark is so good. It just feels like maybe it's the dual spark, maybe it's not, but the motor just runs so good, and I love the fact that it is dual spark because that makes me feel like it's going to be more reliable. Trike is just so robust. Carrying passengers, I want something more sturdy than what I have back at home. This thing feels so confidence inspiring. If I had to nitpick, my two complaints would be the ride does feel a little bit more rough than I expected, and I think that's because the tire pressure feels really high. If I just feel the tires, they feel like they're fully inflated. I want to air those out just a little bit so that we get a more cushiony ride. My only other complaint would be the angle that the seat board for the pilot is sitting at right now. The passenger has a nice recline angle, but the pilot is kind of jammed up, and that may just be an adjustment I need to make to the harness. Maybe that'll be improved in the new harnesses that they're coming out with, but I think it can be better. Aside from that, this thing operated so nice, and for the bush flying that it's marketed towards, I just had so much fun hitting touch and goes out in the middle of nowhere and feeling confident about it. Those are my first impressions. Whoever wins this thing is gonna have a sweet machine, both for solo and for tandem flying. Speaking of whoever wins this machine, you gotta be in it to win it. So now that the video is over, be sure you visit tuckergott.com, check out the new designs, make a purchase, and get entered to win. Also, if you plan on attending the live drawing, be sure to RSVP on the web store. And with that, I will see you guys in the next episode where we take this baby tandem. Till then, have fun, fly safe, peace.